I'm very happy to tell about my home country. So Finland is located very top of Europe. Actually, the whole country is on top of the 60th northern latitude, and the polar circle actually crosses the country, so it's pretty cold. It's between Sweden and Russia. We are about 5 million people altogether, and the land surface is about 340,000 square kilometers. So it's quite a big country. It's the 8th largest in Europe. However, we are not so many. So we are quite solitary people. It's about 18 people per square kilometer if you spread out all Finns into the country. We are surrounded on the south and the west by the Baltic Sea, and there are almost 200,000 lakes in Finland, lots of forests, lots of nature. So we are really kind of connected with the nature and the water. About the history, we gained independence in 1917, and then from there on kind of built the country, especially with shipbuilding, forestry and agriculture. Well, our embassy, we work, of course, to strengthen our bilateral relations in general. There are a few big companies working here in South Africa in heavy industry, in maybe a famous company is called Kone with the elevators. And there is another company called Wärtsilä with steel, and also we do a lot of work with forestry and forestry education. But my work is focused mostly on trade in agricultural products, food especially, and of course everything related to food, like food waste that we are talking about today. Well, I guess there has been more and more awareness in many levels of society. Consumers have gotten a little bit more concerned, even the industry and also the government, about the environmental negative effects, and also frankly the economical losses of food waste. So there's been more general awareness. Well, I think, like I mentioned, it's several levels of society that are actually concerned. So there is maybe some sort of a collective awareness and will to do something about it. There's also legislation that has changed in national level as well as European Union level. So there is push from the policy side as well. And maybe the history of Finland. Finland was very poor after the war, and people learned to really use everything and be quite frugal when it came to food and other resources. Well, the approach that Finland is at the moment doing, it's including food waste is part of this bigger picture, the whole circular economy of food system. So we are not only looking at what's wasted from the table, but we are looking at the industry as a whole. We're also looking at side streams. How can they be utilized? How can we can add value for industry waste? And I'm talking about biodiesel, compost, soil improvement material, even these bioactive ingredients for cosmetics and medical industry. And there's actually a food waste roadmap in the making, and the first step would be to quantify and qualify. So what do we have? What are we wasting? How much are we wasting? And only then we can take steps that make sense, and policies that make sense. So why are we doing this? And there's also the industry independently is making an effort. There are interesting ways that the industry itself is working on this issue. For instance, the items at the shelves that are very close to the sell-by date, they put on big discounts, at the end of the day, and also they are working on different ways to really assess how many items are going to be sold in any given day in supermarkets shelf. So basically trying to eliminate food waste altogether in the retail. From the government side, of course, making sensible policies, and also really making effort on education, even from small kids, to teach them the value of food and why not to waste it, but also supporting new technologies, new business models, new research as well. And also with the technology, there are several applications that connect the consumer with the restaurants and with shops. We're going to actually hear about one of them later on. So I guess it's just it's a common effort that we are doing. So we are all in this together.